Use what you don't have. Use what you have to get what you need. That's very important.
Very careful. God bless you. Okay, you don't agree for anybody because it's like say, okay, yeah, they might have good points and other. I still
No,
won't agree with anybody.
no
So
be
you make
grammar. No be grammar be this, bro. No be grammar. We need to use sense to get what we need.
you get what I mean. I love that. Okay, and that's what makes this even more interesting. Okay, parliamentarians will come up and say, okay, everybody's going this way. I have a different way I want to go, and I will explain. And you've just did that. All right, Baba. I appreciate this. Okay, thank you so much. We had a wonderful night. So one by one, everyone will have to drop their last beats. Okay, and you will lead me with Sekou, who out of sentiment, okay, I want him to push strongly his views, which seems to be a little bit of the popular one, not just because it's Sekou, it's because everyone that I've actually had an encounter with have raised concern. Maybe more, if more answers were given, then maybe this conversation around what this could be to all of us in the long run, maybe it's just an overreaction. But in a situation where you are dealing with people who don't really care or think, you have every right to be paranoid. And I have a veteran here who was so shocked that, somebody who is living, who lived through when Nigerian troops were like they're like the big shots in Africa. One of them is here wondering, like, when did Nigeria become so powerless that the soldiers would need the base of an Americans to keep us safe? It never make any sense to him. Sir Maxwell, and I don't think it's still making any sense to you yet. Please, you also have about 5 minutes, sir. Please.
Thank you so much, the General. And I would totally disagree with Oluke that Nigeria cannot manufacture weapons to their own standard. If you go to defense industry and corporation, Nigeria manufactured what we call FN National. FN National rifle that we are using, that uses 7.6 mm caliber. Nigerians manufactured it, and some of them were also manufactured in Belgium and French National, but Nigeria has their own version. When you look at the minesweeper, I think the only minesweeper vehicle armor tank Nigeria has today, they call Ezago, was produced by a major general called Major General Ezago, and that tank is named after him. He's an Igbo man, a major general. If you look at the service parts of the Air Force helicopter and Air Force, equipments that have been manufactured, some of them that have been manufactured today, is manufactured by innocent to maintain the Nigerian Air Force. How dare you tell me that Nigeria doesn't have the capacity to produce? Nigeria has the capacity to produce, but what is killing Nigeria is corruption, total corruption. And the soldiers of Nigeria don't even need any American, experience to become solid and standard. Were Nigerian soldiers trained by the Americans when they went to Lebanon in the 80s during Shagari time?
No.
Were they trained by Americans when we became the best performing military battalion in Yugoslavia, 1991-92? Were they trained by the Americans? What killed Nigeria is the rate of the gargantuan corruption that has eaten deep into that country, that have made Nigerians not to produce what they're supposed to produce to defend themselves. And I support my brother Sekou. Sekou, my man, you just did it. You just did it. You finish everything, my man. I ain't got nothing to add to what you just say right now. That's how we say in Liberia. You did it good, my man. I'm telling you the truth. You did it more than any other person. Look, the general, Africa has all it takes to defend themselves. The only thing is that the colonialists that left us on paper. They did not leave us on ground. They still manage one way or the other to place their stooges that are controlling us today. Where do they go for treatment? How many of them has gone to treatment in a Yaba military hospital? UNTH, Enugu, Ibadan Teaching Hospital, Lagos Hospital. How many of them will boldly go there for treatment, the general, because they know what they have done? The monies go to them. That is the reason. Most of their children, your schools are in comatose because they don't even feel what you are feeling. Their children are in the best schools abroad. Just like my brother in UAE said, go and check UAE before 1990 and see how it was. It took the decision of people who are willing to change a country, and they did it the way they did it. Do you want to tell me that America will go and place military base in Dubai today, in United Arab Emirates, in the Emirati Kingdom? They won't do it. If you look at this military, it wasn't today that it started. It started when late Major General Victor Malou was there, and late Major General Victor Malou had a stake in it. He refused it. He said before he died that they don't need AFRICOM. That time it was called AFRICOM. They don't need it in Nigeria. But one thing is this: America has no permanent friend and permanent enemy. The reason why they are turning to you today is the alliance of Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, and now, Senegal, that are, with Russia. Because France is losing everything right now. France is losing everything in the Francophone countries. So they have no other option. If you look at Niger Republic, America has the biggest world drone manufacturing factory in Niger. So if anything will happen, they are looking for alternative, and where is the alternative? The alternative in Nigeria. With what is going on in Nigeria, the president will not have no other option with all the controversies that is hanging over his head. If not, that the people of Burkina Faso and the rest of the African countries stood against him, by now, Nigeria will be fighting against Niger, where you're supposed to sit down and correct most of those things that is causing problems in these African countries. Come back home, think on how you are going to develop your own place, not depending on these particular people. The more you depend on them, the more they come after you. Like Sekou will tell you here, in Liberia, that's what they call Cam Johnson Street. That was the base of the American soldiers in Liberia. They were chased away. Do you know what did the Liberians benefited from having Cam Johnson Street, or Cam Johnson, American base in Cam Johnson Street? Sekou, what did the Liberians benefited from it? Nothing. They took over. The River Says latex or rubber processing company covers over close to 75, let me just say, about 75 kilometers range in River Says, where all the latex that used to produce Firestone tire today were manufactured. Timbers were taken away. Liberia and Sierra Leone has the purest diamond and gold in the world. They were taken away. What did they give them? Rare rice. They give them Pusawa rice. They give them parboil. They give them short grain. They give them American parboil, long grain and short grain rice. And that was what they were eating. And give them free visa to go to the United States with only $500 and your ID card. You can fly into the airplane and go to Liberia. That was the benefit they benefited from them. Development, nothing. I know what I saw when we went there. Is that what you want to happen in Nigeria and other African countries? They just want to get Nigeria. Once they get Nigeria, I tell you, the rest of the African countries will be a walk in the park. And I will not, as a former military man, I will not support that, Mayego. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much again for being part of this tonight. I want to believe that this is going to be one of the one of the most interesting people's parliaments on this platform in a long time. And I'm happy to be part of it, just like everyone else, okay? You have a good one, Sir Maxwell. It's such a pleasure to have you. So now we have a bit of an add-on, starting with, Lady Charm. I also have Osita, we just dropped, okay, it's back. I also have Osita, but they don't have that grace of spending that much time like everyone else. So I don't know why they waited this long. Why do you people do that? Some of you will first sit back, be monitoring, observing. Then it gets so interesting. Then you begin to like, I want to be part of it now. You know, you do that a lot. And indeed, let's see if the time will be enough to cover all of us, okay? But Oshi Baba, the reason why you are still here, Baba, is because you haven't really said much other than to ask questions to strike up a bit of, a conversation. So you also be treated by Sekou in case if you have any you want to add or any closure you want to add to it too. You will have that shot after I speak to Polapenga. Charm, I will have you soon, okay? So Polapenga, man, you have just about 3 minutes now, just to close what you've said before. Please use it wisely, Baba. I'm gonna, I might need to have you on mute, I think. Or you might need to unmute yourself as well. Do you mind? I'm gonna. So you have.
Go
and deal with that. Don't worry. I'll let you go deal with that, okay? So I'll come back to you. Don't worry. I'm just going to go to the lady. Lady Charm, see, it's so kind of like a short time now, and we're all pretty much tight into a corner, but I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay.
Tonight, please.
Thank you for having me. And I know that it seemed like I just joined in, or because I wanted to really respond to something Sekou was saying, right? I told him up until, the point where he said, yes, America, the UK, left with them will probably be still colonized, and Russia helped with, help with actualizing the, so-called independence and things like that. I disagree with him in the sense that I think we as Africans, or maybe generally as Black people, work under the delusion that, or the illusion that the white people like us. I think if we start with, like he said, historically, right, we've been enslaved, we've been colonized, our resources have been taken from us, our people have been taken from us, and in the area of global politics, we are largely ignored. Our views are not sought after and things like that. So we're not, they don't include us in the conversation. We're not in the room where it happens, so to speak, right? So for us to assume that we are, we have any allies, we don't have any allies. And I think that's the point I want to try and make here. To assume that, I think one of the first mistakes that we've made as a people is to assume that these people like us. These people see us as some kind of equals. They really don't see us as equals, because you don't treat equals the way they treat us. You don't treat equals like, when you know that somebody is your equal, you don't come to their land and take away their resources and treat them less than, which is what they do in general to Africans. So I think one of the first delusions we have is that these people like us, these people see us as equal human beings just like them. I think when we start to understand that they don't see us that way, whether you think that you're in America, UK, wherever you are thriving, you're successful and all of that, that's by the way. We're talking about global politics now. We're talking about our continent of Africa and how we are seen in general, right? They don't see us as equals. We're not in the room where it happens, and they don't care. Right? We're still having this conversation about whether or not, America wants to come and, put a base there in our own country. I personally feel that the base is not a good idea, because we don't go to their own countries to put bases there. They're not going to come into our country and then it's going to be good for us. Just like Sekou was saying, if you look at it historically, what have the countries where all these bases have been, what have they benefited from it? Have their economies been thriving? Are they successful, thriving societies? No, they are not. No, they're not. They have to get to the point where they have to kick them out so that they can actually, start to actualize a working society. So that's the same thing that's going to happen in Africa. I'm going to go by that history. And I think another point I want to make is that we don't have any allies, and we should stop looking at the West, the Europe, Russia, wherever as allies. We have to start being allies to our own selves, first of all. When we become allies to our own selves and know that even if a religion divides us, even if tribe divides us, even if whatever it is, the seas, the oceans, whatever divide us, what should hold us together is the understanding that we have no allies on this planet except ourselves. And when we start learning to rely on ourselves for our own survival, right, that unity is what they don't want. Okay, we need to stop looking to the West. We need to stop looking to Oyibo for help. They're not here to help us. They're here to help themselves. And the minute we start to understand and appreciate the fact that their desire to stay on top, their desire to remain as world powers is greater than their love for us, or is greater than the desire to see us succeed as a people or as a continent, right? Then we start to understand that, okay, they are not to be relied upon. I don't know, there's still so much I would like to say on this particular.
No, you should have joined us earlier. It would have been even more than this interesting, right? But the minutes fly so fast enough that we could all possibly just sleep here tonight. Okay, but Cham, I hope we'll have another one soon. And what you don't have, what you can really tell us right now, you probably will share a lot of them with us this week through another medium. So thank you. Okay, I just couldn't just ignore that I saw you guys in the studio and probably pretend I didn't. So that's why I had to bring you on. Okay. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate. And same thing with Osita. But I will have to come back to Osita in a quick one, okay? Let's hear the last 3 minutes of our brother, Bola Penga. Please, unmute now.
Okay, my good general.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving me a wonderful opportunity. It's an honor to be with you guys here.
Thank you.
You know, what I want to add again is, my good general, people are making a point, quite all right, about allies. To me, I see this as something that will take years. Like PO will say, Peter will be our president. Like he will say that let us deal with the matters on ground. People are suffering back home. You can't tell me that we need to beat allies. Is a good plan, is a good point, but after making the allies and everybody are dead back home, people are dying every day. People die every day in Nigeria. Starvation. People are suffering. There's no plan for the masses. There's no plan. Okay, for instance, now President Tinubu said we have to endure. That we should endure patience with them. But he went ahead to increase their salary. He increased their salary because of, he said that there is the pressure that people are suffering. So the best option is for him to increase their salary. Instead of him to slash their salary. That is what a normal human being will do. You will slash your salary so that you can be able to manage. But instead, he went on to add about 300% increment in your salaries. And the masses don't even care. People are suffering. Go back home, listen to people who are crying in the streets. I'm here, a father of two, in land of UAE, for more than 3 years now, going to 4 years, no job. And we are more than 5,000 people here, Nigerians, we don't have any job for more than 3 years now. We're suffering. We only eat by help of our family or maybe our service. Like mine now, I have been on vacation like twice. But since after this incident, I can't be able to even feed my family. All my savings are gone. So people need to talk about the matters on ground. Because what happens if everybody is gone? Back home, people are suffering. Nigerians in abroad, they are trapped. People are trapped in different countries.
Thank you so much, brother. Again, like everyone else, right? Everyone's contribution has been heard, right? And I want to stress that it should make us better somehow. Like if you don't know something before, now you do, and on and on. And so thank you so much, Jeff.
Thank you so much. I don't know if I have like 10 seconds, please.
Right.
10 seconds. Yeah, please, I want to appeal to every one of us live now. Please, I'm here, and my wife is here, and my children. We're two of my kids. Really, our minds are made up because my two accounts are zero. I've zeroed them, and we want to go home. Want to go back to Nigeria. I can start from scratch. My wife can start up something. She has the talent. She has handwork. We just need to flight ticket, and the most important thing is flight to go back home. And again, our passport, our original passport, and my ID are in hospital because of my children. When they were sick, I have to deposit my passport. That is how things are here. We're suffering, so we need to claim my passport back in the hospital. You can verify online. You can verify online the hospital name. I can give you the name. You verify. Because I want to go back home, my family, my kids. Really, I don't want to be here anymore. People are dying every day, my good general. Please.
Thank you so
Please.
much. I'm glad that you made that appeal among all the time you've had. A lot of us here are already aware of your situation, and I'm glad that you have now put in face beside that that appeal. Let's see what goes on this week, okay? And we'll be in touch, all right? Just take it,
Thank you
okay?
so much. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
So going forward, I am going to quickly go to Ahmed. Ahmed, you also have like about 2 minutes too, just to round it up and give us something to go with on this conversation as well. Okay, please, Ahmed.
Well, Maegun, me as usual now. Now action. Anything we concern action, now we there for, you understand. So I've had all what everybody's view. I mean, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. I mean, you can give your own take, but Nigerian government, they will do what they will do. But me, my own prayer, like I said earlier, my own prayer is if they want to establish any base, they are welcome. But I hope and I pray that this should be an eye opener. I would keep insisting on this. This should be an eye opener for the soldiers back home, because the revolution you keep talking about, we keep yearning for, it will start somewhere, and we need that revolution to spark in from somewhere. And that place that I feel that if it's sparked from, it's gonna be so serious. That is in the military, because there are guys, there are people that they always complain, they are lamenting every single day of their life, but they just need one thing. And that one thing, if that one thing comes, it's going to be a total different story entirely. So military base coming or not, I mean, does it really matter? No. But if it comes, what will happen? I want something to happen from that coming. You cannot stop it. You cannot stop it. If it's going to happen, you cannot stop it. That's just one thing you need to understand. You cannot stop it. But the government that are in power right now, all they do, they just want to catch themselves. To my own opinion, because the people they have deprived of good life, they will begin to see. We've been to Europe, we've seen people like, we see other soldiers from Europe, from European countries, that some of them, like, we have interaction. They look at us like, Engbadun, you understand? Things like that. Because they don't have that opportunity. Come on, law other countries. Awa, Lama travel, law other countries. Ben, they don't have that opportunity. But we had that opportunity. We go around, we see things, and we learn more things from them. They learn things from us. So that's how they're going to go to Africa. They're going to go to Nigeria. And probably, hopefully, the soldiers over there will learn things. And they will learn things that will not just learning, but it will liberate them from the bondage they've been living in. That's just the only thing I have.
You have done well. Thank you. And you have actually spoken so cautiously that I have to say, you know what, you've done well again. Okay. You didn't jump into a conversation just to want to sound.
No, you know now, like I say, the cause. If I forget my, no be talk, we could begin open for here. No,
I'm just you found it worthy to add your voice. It's so crucial, and so I appreciate that. Okay, Ahmed.
Yeah,
and Okay, thank you. Enjoy the
Yeah,
rest of
Mayegun.
it, okay? Bye-bye. So gradually, we are coming closer to the end of this chart. But I do have two parliamentarians who have never contributed so far. But I'm going to ask, I'm going to let Festin to possibly use his own last 2 minutes too. What would, I don't know, you can go and listen to Seku's response to your first questions, okay? And maybe I will add mine too. But please, you have got just about 2 minutes to say something.
I'll be very brief.
Please.